CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS 2 News at 11 p.m.
The embattled president of USC is out tonight. Max Nikias is stepping down after calls to resign amid a sex scandal involving the campus gynecologist. Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. This is CBS 2 News at 11.
CBS 2's Tom Waite is live in Culver City with reaction from a USC student who believes she's the victim of that USC doctor. Tom.
And Suzanne and Jeff, what a difference a week makes. Just days ago, the Board of Trustees at USC supported the president, but that support is gone.
I have cautious optimism.
Lucy Chi reacting to news that embattled USC President CL Max Nikias is resigning. Lucy is among the dozens of women who have accused a former USC gynecologist of sexual misconduct. Nikias faced a tidal wave of criticism for his handling of the complaints and allegations which go back to the 1990s.
I'm hopeful that now that the board is agreeing that there's definitely some fault here on the part of the leadership at USC, that we'll be able to move forward.
The resignation comes after USC's Board of Trustees faced mounting backlash for its initial support of President Nikias as the sexual misconduct allegations surfaced. Tonight, the board released a statement that reads in part, "We have heard the message that something is broken and that urgent and profound actions are needed." Today, President Nikias and the executive committee of the Board of Trustees have agreed to begin an orderly transition and commence the process of selecting a new president.
I hope that they make changes to their system.
Lucy's encounter with Dr. Tyndall at the university's medical center happened when she was a grad student in 2012. She knew something wasn't right when Tyndall examined her.
He said that he was trying to loosen my pelvic muscles with his fingers.
After the LA Times first broke the story about Tyndall's other alleged victims, Lucy realized she too had been a victim. And this was the second major scandal under President Nikias' watch. The first one was about 2 years ago when the head of the medical school was forced out during a scandal involving prostitutes and drugs. Reporting live in Culver City, I'm Tom Waite. Back to you in the studio.
Let's go down to some breaking news happening in Chatsworth. This is from Sky 2, a terrible crash at Devonshire and Topanga. A pickup truck there slammed into a pole, and it looks like it was split in half. One person taken to a hospital, and the traffic is tied up in that area for now.
Look at that. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. Yep, right there on a turn.
Speeding and driving on the wrong side of the road. The LAPD chased a drunk driving suspect tonight from the Van Nuys area, moving through Santa Monica, passing big crowds, then speeding down PCH to the Malibu area. A spike strip ended the chase in Woodland Hills.
Two suspected robbers are on the loose tonight after bursting into a Studio City jewelry store and then pepper spraying customers and employees. The owner of Dana Catherine Jewelry pulled a gun and then started shooting at the men, so they took off. No word tonight on if the suspects were injured or what they exactly got away with.
Disgraced entertainment mogul Harvey Weinstein remains free on bail tonight after a court appearance in New York.
That's right. Weinstein faces a judge for the first time today on various charges of sex crimes. CBS 2's Chris Holmstrom joins us now with more on this case against Weinstein. Chris?
And Jeff, Weinstein has more than 80 accusers, but at this point he's only charged with 3 felonies, including 2 counts of rape for alleged attacks on 2 separate women.
Harvey Weinstein surrendering to police early Friday morning.
This defendant used his position, money, and power.
Weinstein's arrest follows months of investigation. It's the first time prosecutors charged the 66-year-old since more than 80 women came forward with their stories. Those stories bringing about the Me Too movement. Actress Rose McGowan leading the charge.
And hopefully that will actually heal a lot of the kind of trauma I get whenever I see his face, or whenever I hear his name, or whenever I have to read or hear that he says it was consensual.
Other accusers include Ashley Mathau. She's the daughter-in-law of the late Walter Mathau, the actor best known for movies like Grumpy Old Men and The Odd Couple. I spoke with Ashley on the phone. She says she's relieved Weinstein is being charged. She tells me she was sexually assaulted by him in 2004 when she was filming Dirty Dancing Havana Nights. She's also making her voice heard on Twitter, saying, "Been waiting for this day for so long. So happy that he is getting what he deserves." Italian actress Ossia Argento, another accuser.
In 1997, I was raped by Harvey Weinstein.
Today, Harvey Weinstein will take his first step on his inevitable descent to hell. We, the women, finally have real hope for justice. Her boyfriend, Anthony Bourdain, also backing her up, saying, "When you went on record, Ossia, you were sure this day would never come, that you would be crushed, that you were alone, and yet you did it anyway. Hashtag perpwalk."
And Weinstein has denied any allegations of non-consensual sex. He was released on a $1 million bail. He's expected back into court in July. Jeff, back to you.
Chris, thank you. Congressman Rohrabacher admits his recent comments about gay people may hurt his chances for re-election, but he says he's okay with that. Tonight, the Orange County Republican is standing by his belief that homeowners should be able to refuse to sell to LGBTQ people if they disagree with their lifestyle. Now, the congressman made that remark to a group of realtors. This was last week. Now, the National Association of Realtors has stopped asking members to send money to his campaign. Rohrabacher says he doesn't care.
People can choose whatever lifestyle they want, but people who are religious and have strong convictions about some things that are moral and not moral, they should not be forced to do business with those who they think are involved with immoral acts.
I wish I could say that I was deeply surprised by his comments, but I wasn't, because he has a history of making inflammatory statements, especially against minorities. And I think all we're seeing is the true Dana Rohrabacher.
National Association of Realtors says Rohrabacher's stance is contrary to the Code of Ethics, which bans discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation or gender identity.
A day after President Trump pulled out of next month's historic summit with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, talks behind the scenes could revive it. The two had planned to meet June 12th in Singapore. North Korean officials say they're still willing to talk. And today, Mr. Trump said, so are we. He even left open the possibility of making the June 12th date after all. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis also confirmed diplomats are working to get the summit back on track.
New optimism tonight for dozens of military families. The U.S. House of Representatives has approved adding 74 names to the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C. It was a decades-long effort. Honored are 74 American sailors on board the USS Frank E. Evans. Some of these men were from Southern California. It sank June 3rd, 1969, after being struck by an Australian aircraft carrier off Vietnam's coast.
Very vividly, I remember the carrier actually went through the forward wall, the forward bulkhead. A lot of the guys thought they were dead. I did. I thought it was dead.
Peters was among those working with Congressman Adam Schiff to get the names added to the Vietnam War Memorial in Washington, D.C.
Now to the holiday getaway. Here's a live look at LAX. The backup doesn't look as bad as about an hour ago. Airport officials expect nearly 1 million people to pass through the airport over the Memorial Day holiday weekend. That's up 6% just from last year.
This is about as good as you can get it there at LAX, right? Now look at this. This is the Cajon Pass. Just a few hours ago, much of that traffic heading to Las Vegas, one of the top destinations in the country over this holiday weekend.
CBS 2's Lori Perez is live at Dockweiler State Beach in Playa del Rey, a top destination for campers. Lori.
Anyone who says joy is in the journey, not the destination, has clearly never had to sit in LA traffic on a Friday on a holiday weekend.
Traffic was bad. Traffic was horrible.
The Automobile Club says 2.68 million Southern California residents are expected to travel by car this Memorial Day weekend. And Friday afternoon from 3:30 to 5:30, the peak holiday travel time, it seemed like 2.5 million of them were on LA freeways.
I hate traffic.
The only ones not stuck in the slowdown, bikers. Expect to see lots of motorcyclists passing you as you sit in bumper-to-bumper traffic this weekend. So don't forget to share the road. And experienced travelers say, if you can, get on your way in off hours.
Beat the crowd, beat traffic, beat everything you do when there's a weekend getaway. You want to do it a day before, or two if you can,
If you didn't do that and find yourself in this burning gas going nowhere fast, try not to think about rising gas prices. AAA says in LA, a gallon of gas on average is going to cost you $3.76. That's 69 cents more than this time last year. Bees swarm a local man's Jeep and buzz around it for hours.
Hey, hey!
Oh, they're brawling over beer. More of that in-flight fight.
Then an Orange County Little League team just won their championship. But tonight they're celebrating the dream of a special teammate.
Hey everybody, I'm Garth Kemp. Wow, look at how beautiful downtown looks. All right, it's Memorial Day forecast on the way.
And just days after her royal wedding, Meghan Markle gets a special gift today, and how California is represented in her new coat of arms.
And here's a look at the guests tonight on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert.